Okay, so here we are in a discussion. You can see it's very lively. We are very passionate about our opinions. Okay, we just feel strongly, negatively or positively. There are lovers and haters. We never ever agree on a single book. Okay, there are some books which are loved, most loved, would be split between lovers and haters, or some would are different. You need to read the book before you attend. That's a requirement. However, once in a while, let's say you tried reading the book and it sucked. You got up to chapter 2 and said, that's part of your reading experience, and we respect that. Or sometimes you're really busy, you just want to see us, and you don't want to read. That's also allowed or tolerated, but you get less airtime. You're not allowed to quote Derrida and say, this is what I mean. Don't. Okay, let the other people opine, those who read the books. Okay, so we may talk about a single title or a single book, or we can go theme. This is very rare. We go genre. One time we talked about Japanese literature, so everybody was free to choose any title, any author, as long as it's Japanese. Or sometimes we talked about things like art or food. Hey, the absolutely most important element in any meeting, if we don't have this, people will just leave the club. Okay, is food. Okay, there has to be food. Okay, all the time. And sometimes they even match the genre, like Japanese food for Japanese literature, Chinese food for Chila Club, and you were at a Portuguese restaurant for Blindness by Jose Saramago. So food is there. And donuts, they go well with any genre. Then we have games. You know how it is. Your teachers, they want to make sure that you've learned something from the book. So we have games. Our favorite is Jeopardy. And we have trivia games. The Sing-Son cousins are usually the ones organizing this. So we're, and they're not always, again, sedentary activities. We have dancing games. Okay? And here, when we discuss End of the Affair by Graham Greene, we matched people, lovers from history. So we almost won that one. When we discussed Perfume by Patrick Susskind, we had a smelling game. People were blindfolded and they had to guess what that scent was. Okay, so those are just, again, this is one of our favorite games. We discussed Sherlock Holmes. And in the middle of the discussion, somebody screamed and there was a dead person in the room. And so it was a whodunit. So we did that. It was so much fun. Okay, then another tradition for flipping pages would be the book swap. This is a way for us to add it to our pile. We started this the very first time we met. In our first eyeball, we had a book swap. So it's a way to get new books and to dispose of the sucky ones. So you get a variety. We also have themed book swaps for every meeting. So it gets very vicious. Okay, so here, for example, you can see my nakakalurky, and nalalurky na kasi I want a certain book. Fears, there's a lot of manipulation, scheming. It helps to have a relative there, okay, because you can scheme together, but it's all worth it when you get the book that you want. All right, and we end with the group shot. There you go. All right, so this is in Paco Cemetery when we discussed Shadow of the Wind, which is there you go. And once in a while we have our solo shots as well. Alright? And we always take home bookmarks.
Bookmarks.
Oops. There. So that, again, part of the theme. We have bookmarks for Journal Club. And this is there. Okay, so bookmarks every time. It's part of the pressure we put on the moderators. Okay? To produce the bookmarks. And then we have, it's not enough, you still go out to eat more, drink more, sometimes to go shopping for books. What happens after the meeting? We continue the discussion online, just to make sure that those who missed the discussion will be there to participate. We just ask the same questions. Okay, so you want to put up a book club. These are the do's and don'ts. And I've framed this last portion using the elements of a story. So one of the elements of a story is plot. So if you want to put up a book club, do not plot. Let it be organic. Let it flow. Let it evolve the way that flip-slipping pages has, for example. You know, it was me, I was reading by my lowest thumb, I was fine. I had 200 books in my shelves, I was okay, I was reading. But when we started the book club, using the internet, okay, so I was joined by other book lovers, okay, and then we started develop, our shelves exploded, okay, but our ideas and our opportunity to discuss books also got expanded. So it did, that story could have been started by anybody else. It didn't have to be me, because I knew that, like I said, they will come. There were people out there just waiting, hungry to talk about books, and we found each other there. So don't plot. Don't control the characters. Some people need an IQ requirement to join a book club. We don't, otherwise I won't be there. You didn't have to be literary experts.
Beauty.
Huh? Oh, beauty is the only criterion. And the ability to eat pounds and pounds of rice. Okay, don't control the characters. Our group is so varied. I presented this previously, but hey, we're split between people who read one book at a time and people who read many books, like 5 at any given moment. We're split between people who cover their books meticulously in plastic and people who find that really tacky. We're split between, well, a lot of us are fiction readers, so maybe this we look very, this is something we have in common, but really take a look. There was a thread we asked, if you were to recommend just one book, we came up with a list, and there's just no common bond, common tie there. I mean, it's just all over, from the Bible to Sid, whatever that is. There. So the genres, we love different genres. Some people are into sci-fi. Some people will just skip the sci-fi meeting. Okay, some people read in cars, and some people don't. Most of us, this is where we don't like getting rid of the books unless we get something back in return. Okay, I think this has changed. Okay, when previously, okay, almost all of us prefer paper books to e-books, but we see a trend of us being, well, I don't know yet, we'll do a new survey. So in other words, we have 1,433 members. Okay, that means we have 1,433 profiles of people who love different books. We don't need to control what they read. Do assign a storyteller or a moderator for every meeting, okay? The only way a book gets chosen, we don't vote, a moderator will have to say, okay, I'm going to moderate. So if you feel passionate about the book, volunteer to moderate, or coerce your best friend to do it. So these are some of the moderators we just had, okay? Do pay attention to settings. This means time and place. So Saturday afternoon works for us, okay? Because you can still extend up till the evening, up till the early hours of Sunday. Settings, of course, you consider geography. People we like to go out of town, but it's not always possible. It makes it difficult for other people. So here we are very creative and looking for places. This one is at the top floor, fully booked at the fort, but we've gone to restaurants, cafes, gardens, cemeteries, etc. We almost had the discussion. We had a science discussion. There was a restaurant that was perfect for the theme, but there was so they did they inspect the sites first. In other words, okay. Do develop themes for every meeting. Okay, that makes it fun. That makes it interesting. Pride and Prejudice. We discussed Pride and Prejudice plus. You're required to read, because it's so cliche to read Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. So we said you had to read something else related to it, like Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. So we had an English tea setting over there. When we discussed Shadow of the Wind, which was Gothic, we went to a cemetery. And when we discussed A Good Year by Peter Mayle, okay, we had it in a wine store, because it's about a winery. And we went to a wine store, we had food, wine, we had a wine expert sharing us how to appreciate wine. Okay, we really didn't have a discussion, we tried, but we used this as a theme for the way we describe the book, so the terminology for wine. Okay, so we just stick to the theme. When we discussed Harry, okay, we had Bloody Prom theme, okay, with King and Queen, and a tacky photo booth. There. Do manage conflict. There will be conflict. People will fight. Okay, it's my job to allow them to fight somewhere safe. Right? Do explore genres. Okay? Do not limit yourself to just one genre. It will get really boring. And if you have a book club, some people say, oh, we might end, we might die. You might, you will. Okay, don't worry about it. It will evolve, and once it dies, it means that other people have moved on, or other people are doing something more exciting than reading. Okay, so reading used to be a solitary activity, but not for us. Okay, reading is like this. We had a readathon where we spent 24 hours just reading and eating. Okay? And this is what reading looks like. Okay, it's fun, exciting, and this is what book clubs are all about. Book clubs, a great book should extend beyond the reading. It should exhaust you, it should involve you. Hey!